path to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt now is paved much easier for students now than it was for me. And I think by the time you go from a beginner to black belt, instead of it being like a set of skills or techniques, I think it's more of like an adaptation of a lifestyle and a way of thinking to solving problems.
Your results are just dictated by your effort and your ability to not only execute the technique, but the discipline to continue your training, and then overcoming a lot of the mental barriers, because that's, to me, it is the biggest challenge of the art. It's not the physical barriers, it's the mental barriers. The art pounds you with mental blocks, self-doubt, fear, all these things, and learning how to confront that and push past it can be a hard sell for some people.
When I started training martial arts, I didn't start training them for belts. I think that was one of the reasons I competed a lot, was to test my martial arts and get like good feedback from that. I think the motivation for me to get my black belt has always been a motivation for the team.
It was, to say it was breathtaking, life-changing, I don't know, it was really weird. It was something that you think about, you dream about, you work hard for it, and then when you get it, there's kind of that momentary pause of like, what now?
Every grading's a real big concern to me. I always tell the team it's got to be good for you, it's got to be good for the team, and it's got to be good for the art. So they're the three checkpoints that I tell the team and that I try and work through my head at the time, just to make sure that it's ticking those three things each time. And it's not so much concern for stripes, but definitely every new belt level, if you're trying to squeeze that potential out of everyone, it's definitely something that I try and think about.
No, it's a big promotion too. It's a heavy belt, and I think with the other belts, there's always that certainty that they're coming back, because there's more battles to be conquered. And the black belt is akin to winning the lottery for a lot of people, because what's one of the classic stories you hear when somebody comes into a lot of money? Quit their job, they disappear, they change their life. And I'm not saying that people are going to do that with the black belt, but the black belt, it's a coveted rank. With it comes a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of prestige. So you hope that, and you're invested in the fact that they're going to help continue to push the school forward and pay it forward to the next generation coming up. So I get it. It's a heavy rank, but you believe in your team, and I believe in them too. I think it was a great choice, and I think it's an amazing addition to your school.
My name's Fiona Muxlow. I have been training since 1996. I joke my jiu-jitsu is older than some of the people here, and I am currently a brown belt.
If you wanted to talk about long-term training partners, or maybe my journey through jiu-jitsu, you'd probably have to start with my senior students, and Fiona would be one of the good ones to start with, because when I started mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Fiona probably would have been there on my first night.
Fiona's great. Yeah, she's just got really solid fundamentals, and she's a good person to bounce certain ideas off sometimes as well, to drill with.
Done everything, man, like 80 cc's and fought Cyborg, and won heaps of stuff in jiu-jitsu, and still competing now, like jumping in against the youngins at the local comps, and still having a crack.
I really like training with Fee. She's always good fun, good energy on the mat, and now I've recently just started, she's helping out with the kids' classes, so coaching the kids' classes, and I enjoy coaching with her as well, because she really does know how to handle people as well, teach, get information across, but she's always just vibrant and happy on the mat, so she's good to be around.
Fiona, I mean, what an inspiration, you know, talking to her and hearing about her story and her struggles. And, you know, she's fought MMA, she's competed internationally. Again, just somebody who works incredibly hard, has the most amazing attitude and work ethic, and her personality, she's a joy to be around.
So she was a good part of getting me addicted to jiu-jitsu and trying to understand its subtleties and technicality. And she's a great leader. She's going to be a great leader of future women doing jiu-jitsu. So definitely a well-earned black belt out of Fiona. So I'm going to be excited to see her get her black belt.
With that being said, it's probably time. Instead of traveling the world for black belts, Fiona, come get your black belt, man.
My name is Mark Balnaves. I've been training for probably over 10 years, and I'm a brown belt.
Oh, geez. Mark may have even trained with me the longest out of anyone.
Jiu-jitsu is really good. He just learning with him. I actually learn a little bit rolling with him because he just moves in different ways, and that's something I really appreciate because you know, we always say we learn from everybody.
I met Mark through Courage, and he's a great training partner. A little bit heavier than me, like longer. It's awesome. It's awesome to have all these different body types and styles of jiu-jitsu to train with. It's definitely an asset to the gym.
Mark's skills are constantly evolving. Every month he's coming in, he's watched a new instructional, and he's got a new move. And it's so good because he then passes it on to me. He does it on me a few times and I'm kind of like, what's going on? And then I ask him, then he shows me it, then I start doing it to everyone. So he's constantly upskilling me because he's always upskilling himself.
He's approachable, and the one thing that I do with everybody when I go to a gym, it's not just leadership. I watch them when they know I'm not watching them, and I watch how they interact with the other students, with the parents, with visitors, with their coach, and everyone loves him. And if everyone loves you, you got to be doing something right, you know. He's an amazing guy, so he had another one that's gonna he's gonna carry the Courage flag well, so I'm really amazed and proud of him as well.
Geez, at the moment, that guy is he's a force of nature. He's a sponge taking things on, and he really does epitomize the martial arts lifestyle.
If Mark can be at training, he'll be at training. He had the longest run of, he'd finish work at 6 a.m. his night shift, and he'd be out training at 7 a.m.
Oh, I still see the value of belt ranks, but I never came into the martial arts thinking, oh, if I get such and such a belt rank, I'm going to be better in some way.
But yeah, he's another, you know, he's like a few of us here. We're just proper jiu-jitsu nerds, you know. So he's always looking to develop his game and get better, which, you know, it pushes the rest of us as well.
Yeah, he's a hard roll. Like, even though, yeah, we're the same belt level, he's always the toughest roll. And yeah, like, I always want to improve myself as well to keep up to Mark's standard, because if I took 3 months off the mat, when I come back, I know Mark will be tapping me out, and I can't have that.
He's a great dad. He's a great friend to have, and he's a scholar on and off the mat. So I do appreciate the energy that Mark brings to the room, and I think if anyone epitomizes the mindset of a black belt, that would be Mark. So that's been really good. So Mark's been one of those partners for me. So let's give Mark a black belt tonight.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So I started when I was, I think, 25, jiu-jitsu. And ever since, it's like, shit, I wish I started way earlier, you know what I mean?
Shane can be an interesting guy to train with. He's almost the grey man, the quiet performer. He comes in and he quietly does his thing on the mat, and he's always studying something in the shadows.
Yeah, Shane is like 100% technical. He's fit and strong as well, but he's so technical. If I try to use no fitness and strength against Shane, he's just got such high level technique, inverting underneath me, off balancing me all the time. Yeah, he's very smart in that regard and very technical to the point.
Shane, it's funny, I spent the most time with him out of all four. I've spent the most time with him. And I think it's part of that because he has a very cerebral approach to jiu-jitsu. He's kind of quiet. I mean, I hate to say it, he kind of reminds me of me a little bit. You can just see when he's watching you teach or when he's watching a technique, he's really studying what's going on. And he has a brain for the art.
He has a particular style of jiu-jitsu that is very difficult to keep him down or to pin him or to really get anything over him for a long period of time. Like you have to get something in straight away and snap it on, or he's going to be out of it pretty quick. So
when you're trying to grow a culture around people sharing ideas and helping each other, a guy like Shane is a good guy to have on your mat.
Kind of way you would expect a black belt to be, just the way he carries himself. There's a calmness, a calm demeanor to him.
One more tonight. Shane, can you please come in?
Well, I started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu about 7 years ago now, and there was nothing in particular that really got me into it. I was, watched a little bit of UFC on the weekend and that, but really it was just when I finished school and I was looking for a gym and something to do while I was doing uni as well.
Jack James, Bricktop, the force of nature. I still kind of remember like this nerdy little kid that trained with me for a couple of months. I think he was still at school at the time, and he kind of disappeared. And then a year or so later, he turned up with his mate Declan, the Wolfenden.
Yeah, look, Jack's a good bloke. He's the same thing. He started. Well, I met him at Courage. He started. Wouldn't have been too much after me actually, and straight away he was good, strong lad, smart. Picked it up really quick, and wasn't long before he was kicking our asses. So and he's a dedicated guy. So he's always developing his game, good wrestling, good grappling, good striking and stuff. And he's only getting better and better.
So Jack came in, and I'd probably already been training for quite a few years when Jack came in, and pretty quickly he got the better of me. Like he was maybe training for 6 months or less before he started getting the better of me, and I've never really recovered. So he's always been just one step ahead.
With Jack, he's just such a pleasant, sweet guy, and he's become so formidable. I remember when I first met him, he was so quiet, very polite, very respectful, but his mat presence now, it's a sight to behold.
He's kind of that guy that we wish we all were. We were like, oh, I wish I found this a little bit earlier. I wish I'd been able to hook into this younger, with that youthful enthusiasm, and he did, like he's probably the person that we've seen grow the fastest, which is only fair because he trains the most. And there comes a certain time where your students can out-train you and outwork you, and we should be proud of that. And Jack's that kid, he out-trains and outworks all of us, and he's getting his black belt early enough to be able to do some amazing things with it. And I'm going to be excited to hopefully be there for a lot of that and watch to see what he does with it.
So, Jack James.
Come grab your bike.
Becoming a black belt, it just requires, persistence, dedication, commitment. I believe a little faith in your instructor, because you have to know that they know what's best for you.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt is somebody that has the ability to solve problems using Jiu-Jitsu as a vehicle. Martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu in particular, can take you on a journey. So it took me on a journey, and now kind of the business is sharing that journey with people.
He's one of the hardest working instructors I've ever met. He is present for all his classes, kids classes, adult classes, kickboxing classes. He is never off the mat. And that's rare to see. Usually, especially in a school like his, of his size, you start to delegate. You open up leadership, and he has a slew of instructors, but he's the one. It's no secret why he's a black belt and why he has a successful school, because he just works so hard.
Yeah, his mindset's changed a lot. When I first started training with him, he was fresh out of the military, and it was very much more strict and regimented. It's not that it's not strict now. It's just more, I wouldn't call it strict, I would say it has a structure, but there's like more of an element of play involved as well. He's definitely come away from the military kind of drill sergeant style of training, and he's definitely more focused, I think, on like being a good coach for athletes rather than being the drill instructor. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, he's definitely a very physical, kind of like strong and like a very MMA-based kind of jiu-jitsu, which is wild. It's good to deal with. It's good to feel something like that and learn from it. And I guess over the years, it's only gotten better. He's a student of the art as well, like always down to learn and expand the knowledge base. Always traveling to train and stuff like that, bringing it back home.
And he's definitely someone that I could lean on. If I had a problem, I could definitely talk to Coach Bone about it. And not just like a mental or family problem. Like, also I imagine if my car broke down and I needed him to pick me up, or even, help me out a little bit just to get that car fixed, I feel like he's definitely someone I could lean on, and he'd help me out in that sort of way as well.
I don't know if I'll be rolling it at 80 years old, but I would like to think that there will always be a place for Jiu-Jitsu in my family, and there will always be a place for me to be able to help people with Jiu-Jitsu or the skills that Jiu-Jitsu have given me.